Good morning.
Look, a lot of people were saying this is inevitable, perhaps, but it poses some very difficult questions, doesn't it? Because she appears to be doing several things. She's brought in someone who diversifies the cabinet, which you'd see as positive, but she's also done a U-turn on the major policy that was meant to drive growth, which was the whole point of the mini-budget.
Yes, it has been a very difficult week for the Prime Minister, and I think yesterday in particular was probably the peak of those difficulties. I think she's made a good decision in bringing Jeremy Hunt in as the Chancellor, because I would probably say that he is seen by many as a sort of alternative leader of a wing of the Conservative Party which has been very disgruntled for a very long time. So I think bringing Jeremy Hunt in as Chancellor has the potential to quell the rebels. But the question is whether or not this government and the Prime Minister can survive until the mid-term fiscal statement on the 31st of October. That is uncertain. I think if the mid-term fiscal statement goes well on the 31st of October, calms the markets, which will in turn bring the cost of borrowing down, which will have an effect on people's mortgages, and then get the confidence back of the British people, then she might possibly be able to survive, but that is not a certainty.
Was it right to get rid of Kwasi Kwarteng yesterday? I mean, there was talk of it being a shared economic vision. That's certainly what was said at the mini-budget. Since then, there's been toing and froing between Kwasi Kwarteng and Liz Truss over whose idea that mini-budget was and who that came from. Is he the fall guy?
As a political decision, it was the right decision to make, because ultimately either she went or she found someone else to take the blame. And in this case, the person that she found to take the blame was Kwasi Kwarteng, the Chancellor. But of course, what is also true is that they both believed in those policies. Kwasi Kwarteng was one of the biggest cheerleaders for Liz Truss throughout the leadership contest. They both signed off the budget. They both signed off on the 45p to 40p tax cut, which probably you could argue started this entire debacle. But in terms of a political decision, she found a fall guy. It was Kwasi Kwarteng, so it was the right thing to do.